How's it going, guys? Cody back again, dropping out another video. Right, guys, this is a story in the Liverpool Echo about HMP Liverpool, or Walton Jail, or as I call it, the death warehouse, because of its high rate of suicides. The story is about a prison nurse swapping texts and calls with a con. Nothing new there. Let's get into it. Headline reads: Prison nurse exchanged thousands of texts and phone calls with jailed pervert. Rachael Donegan gave her number to sex offender Lloyd Senior, who had a mobile phone in his cell. A nurse at HMP Liverpool who exchanged thousands of texts and phone calls with a sex offender has walked free from court. Liverpool Crown Court did not hear the reason why Rachael Donegan became so friendly with Lloyd Senior at Walton Prison, but after the mental health nurse, 26, discovered he had a device in his cell, they communicated a staggering 7,678 times. Senior, 28, was behind bars for sexually assaulting a teacher in a terrifying cocaine, ketamine and alcohol-fueled street attack. He was jailed for 30 months in November of 2015 after chasing his victims through Kensington whilst yelling, "I'm gonna shag you." The pervert tackled the screaming woman to the ground and ripped off her clothes before sexually assaulting her. At the time, he was on licence, having previously been locked up for 5 years for possessing a semi-automatic firearm and ammunition. The court heard how Senior, 28, was searched by prison guards on September the 29th, 2016 and found to have had the phone. Christopher Hopkins, prosecuting, said there was then an extensive investigation by police into that phone and the SIM card. Officers revealed Senior was in contact with 2 phone numbers over an 8-week period between August and September. They were both held by Donegan of Linton Street, Walton, who had worked at the jail for 9 months before she was fired. Mr. Hopkins said she had come into contact with a co-accused during the course of her duties as a nurse. She told the police she had given him the number in what she described as a very foolish act. She's understood inmates shouldn't have mobile phones, and she became aware that he had one. She should have reported it to the authorities, but she did not. He said it was not alleged Senior used the phone for other criminal purposes such as drug dealing or witness intimidation. Donegan, who has no previous convictions, admitted encouraging or assisting commission of an offence. However, Nicholas Walker, defending the nurse, said she denied supplying Senior with the mobile phone. He said she'd been very difficult domestic circumstances which he did not intend to state in open court. Mr. Walker argued that his client, who sobbed in the dock, ought to be punished in the community. Judge Anil Murray told Donegan, "You've been very foolish. You were a nurse in a position of responsibility at HMP Liverpool. Examination showed lots of contact between you and him. The prosecution cases you assisted him by using his mobile phone by communicating with him. This was very serious because she was in a position of responsibility. You must have known that phones in prisons are put to misuse. Fortunately for you, this was not a mobile phone used for drug dealing or to commit other serious offences. And it's important you should be in a more serious position now. You could be in a more serious position now." Judge Murray accepted Donegan was remorseful and handed her a 12-month community order with 40 hours of unpaid work. Senior, who had been sentenced separately, admitted possession of a specified item and transmission without authority from within a prison. The criminal of Onslow Road, Kensington, has 11 previous convictions for 18 offences, including the July 2015 sex attack. Neil Gunn, defending Senior, said he had suffered from epilepsy, which affected his ability to do certain types of work. He said there was no evidence of the phone was used to commit any criminal enterprise. It seems the contacts and conversations were simply social in nature. Mr. Gunn said Senior was initially told the case will be dealt with by the prison adjudication system, but it was prosecuted after a long delay. Senior claimed that this was despite police telling him it would be dropped if he gave a statement against Donegan, which he did. Judge Murray said, "You've got a bad record. You need to stop committing offences, otherwise you'll find yourself serving longer sentences. Unlawful mobile phones can cause serious problems to prison discipline and can be used to commit other offences, for example, drug dealing and witness intimidation. However, I accept the phone was not used for crime and this was for social use. This has made significant difference to how I view this case." The judge handed him a 12-month community order with 100 hours of unpaid work, because he's obviously out of prison now, guys. So it sounds like there's going to go through the prison's adjudication system, but then the police have fucked him over. He's probably well known in the community, isn't it, like for his offences and stuff. So the police said, "Oh, if you go against this Rachael Donegan and drop a statement, which is grassing, then it'll be dropped." He did. and they ended up, it must have taken a long time to come to court. He's obviously left prison, and then he's been sentenced now to a community order, a 12-month community order, and 100 hours of unpaid work. She got a community payback order and 40 hours of work. This goes on, guys. Now, like I say, this isn't a one-off, guys. This isn't a specific, like a one-off case. This is happening in prisons up and down the country. They've just not come to light yet. Now, I personally, as an offender, as a former offender, should I say, I don't believe that female officers or female nurses should work in male prisons. Why? Because it cuts down on the sexual relationships between officers and staff. Because at the end of the day, right, you've got highly manipulative cons with like some good-looking nurses and good-looking officers within prison. And even if they're not good-looking, because you've been in prison for months or years, right, you're an officer that you might not look at on the out because you wouldn't find her attractive if you was a free man on the out. But because you're in prison, she looks like Claudia Schiffer or Julia Roberts or whoever you want it to be, do you know what I mean, an attractive person. And we gravitate towards them and stuff. And prisoners are very manipulative, and they try to manipulate every situation to the best of their ability so it suits them and the boys on the wing. Now, I know stories in the past where cons have got involved with prison officers, female prison officers, even becoming sexual guys in nature. And literally they'll say, right, babe, when you get home, right, WhatsApp me, after they've been talking a long time, WhatsApp me a picture of you in your uniform with your tits out, right, so I can see your face and stuff, right. Now the female's like, yeah, because she's like love-struck and stuff, right, and he's a bad boy and he's a con and stuff, yeah. And then she sends him pictures. He's then got her over a barrel, because he'll just say, right, I've got these pictures. If you don't start bringing in drugs for me, I'm gonna go to the red badge senior officer or the governor with these pictures. So then they start having to do it because they're under duress and stuff like that, because they're being blackmailed. This situation, guys, wasn't that. He obviously didn't try to get her to bring drugs or anything else in, or if he did, it's not come to light. Rachael Donegan's a very good-looking girl, 26-year-old, he's 28. I mean, she's obviously found him attractive in some regard. They might have known each other from on road, they might just know each other on the out. There's many different, like, he's from Kensington, but she's from, like, Walton Ends, but people know people. So it could have been that, or it's more likely that they're just attracted to each other, do you know what I mean? It's crazy it goes on that way, and she's lost her job now. She won't ever be able to go back to work in the prison. She'd only been there 9 months. This could have been her first posting within a prison. And like I say, these nurses are very good looking and stuff, and you've got very good looking female officers in jail, right? There's some ugly ones as well, but you've got some good looking officers and good looking nurses. Now, if you took them out of that situation and put females in females, right? Obviously, you do get lesbians as well, but it's going to be a smaller number than it is in the current state of affairs. It's a very female-dominated environment, nursing. And like I say, it's nothing to do with, it's not sexist in any which way, because females can do jobs as good as male officers. But like I said, it just cuts down on the sexual relationships that go on and inappropriate relationships. But I don't blame these nurses and stuff, and I don't blame the cons. The cons are sex-starved and stuff like that, and like I say, fucking you spend your time fucking horny as fuck, craving a bit of punani. Do you know what I mean? When you get out, you want that female thingy. When you get out, first thing you want to do when you get out is get out, get a shower, get your hair cut. Do you know what I mean? Chill, go for food, go probation, and then you want to get your dick wet. It's as simple as that, guys. I can't put it. I'm sorry to put it in such crude terms, but that is a reality. So if you're in prison and stuff, and you're getting a female attention from a female officer or a female nurse, do you know what I mean? You're working alongside each other. You can't help who you're attracted to. And if you spend a lot of time speaking to certain individuals, then that attraction can be there. And then you've got the sense of humour and stuff like that. Cons are very manipulative, and they've got very good senses of humour. And do you know what I mean? There's some big lads in jail. They're all smashing gym. Not everyone is. Some people just lying behind a door smoking spice, getting off the nut. Some people don't do the gym. But a lot of cleaners and stuff, and other lads that... orderlies and stuff, they smash the gym. They're good lads, they're big lads, they're hench, they've got big chests. And these women, you know what I mean, they can see, you know what I mean, that they're big ripped up guys, and the sense of humour and personality is there, and sexual relationships they develop from that, guys. And like I say, it goes on that way. You see some cons that are ugly as fuck, and they're getting on with a female officer or a female nurse, and you look and think, he's got to be hung like a donkey in, because what does she see in him? And this is the way it goes, man. And this, like I said, this isn't a one-off. scenario. This is happening in prisons up and down the country, just not come to light yet. On that note, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think about the story. Should she have been jailed? You have to let me know. She's in a position of trust after all. On that note, guys, going to leave it here. Like, comment, subscribe. Cody out.